So that was the thing, me holding back.
What was making you hold yourself back?
Being afraid of being judged, not being good enough. You know, I used to see other people succeed. So success is depending on what you justify as success in your own thing. But I used to see people get promoted before me. I used to see people getting more money than me. I used to see people going on holidays or spending more time with their family, and I'm thinking, maybe I thought I don't deserve this. I don't know. I don't know what was holding me back. And then I decided that I'm the only person that can decide my destiny. So
what was the catalyst for you to decide that though? What made you feel?
I guess I didn't want anyone to put a value on me. I guess that's what I felt when I was in corporate, that I was waiting for someone to validate that I was good enough to get promoted, good enough to get to the next level. And I thought, why am I waiting? Like, why do I have to wait for someone else to tell me that?
When you already knew it inside, but you were too scared to
I was suppressing everything. And that was really a defining moment for me. And you know, even through school, the same thing. And I was playing the same pattern right through from schooling into my corporate, life. And
I was going to say that. What were you like at school?
Yeah,
were you
same.
sitting in the background, letting everyone else get the accolades? You just being there, being the quiet one, not being recognised, not, and you, deep inside, you had this voice, or in your head, you had this voice saying that you are better than that, but you were too scared to take that leap forward.
I was too scared for, like I said, many reasons, that maybe, I wasn't good enough. People might say, who does she think she is? And, voicing her opinion. But I've come to a point now to know that there's a time and a place to speak and to serve. So any time that I can serve someone, then that's the time to step up. And that's something, again, this year for me was about stepping up rather than playing safe. That was a huge...
Or playing small.
Yeah, or playing small. So that was a big leap for me this year.
What gave you that courage to do that?
Knowing that I had progressed over time, but I didn't want it to... I noticed that I was getting comfortable. So, again, you get to that point and I was getting comfortable. And I always say to myself, what could I be doing to make things, to step up? What am I not doing that I should be doing to play a bigger game?
Right. Okay.
And so
what was it?
Well, a lot of things came to mind. Like, as soon as I said that, it's like, Androulla, you're holding back. You should be asking, to work with certain types of people that you've been wanting to work with. Get in front of a group of people that you probably wouldn't have put yourself into, in front of before because of your fear of being judged. So which is what I've done now. So during the month of November, what I did, I connected with all those relationships of people that I had grown and got to know over the coming months and coming years. I actually connected with them in November.
And how was that for you?
It was great because next year is already set up to February. I've already got 4 speaking events lined up to serve a group of people. One specifically is in the mortgage broking industry.
Fantastic.
So that'd be interesting because I came from a predominantly male industry, Toyota, working for them. And so I'm now going to go...
you can do that.
Yeah, I can do that. I think I'm going to be in my element here.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited.
You're just going to bring the feminine side to it.
Yeah.
And show them how it's really done.
But I can bring that male dominant stuff in there as well. So, no, it's really good. Like, I'm really excited about that.
Fantastic.
Just taking it to another level and just stepping things up. And I guess also as I grow, so do my clients. So I know even with me that I continuously I am learning every single day.
We learn every day.
Yes.
We never stop learning. The day we stop learning is the day we die.
Yes. Yeah. So, that's been really good for me this year, and that's where I'm heading. Like, again, it's changing the mindset, and this is what I went back and did, my diploma in coaching while I was still working full time. And so that, it was 2 years. And again, it was more for a personal development. I had no idea why I was doing it. It's something that came across me. And I just, again, when you make those decisions, I did it. And now I'm grateful because it changed who I
changed the way you look at yourself.
Yeah, it did. It did. There was no way that I'd be able to do what I'm doing right now if I hadn't gone through that journey.
Fabulous.
Okay. So, and then now even knowing that kind of stuff and having the, the mindset and being conscious of what is going on in my head, there's sort of things that I can catch from some of my clients and the language that they use and things like that. So it's, without me realising, it actually complements what I do in my business.
Congratulations. Well done.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing. Jenni?
I was just thinking about what you were saying, and we all speak the same language but use different language.
Yes.
And in my work we call that limbic resonance. So you are really, the more that you develop yourself and do your inner work and your strategies and all the things you do, you are role modelling that. And, back in a past life when I was a school teacher, the one thing I know is that children learn by what they see, not what you tell them. And so, I'm a bit the same with my clients. A lot of people say to me, why are you always studying and learning? And because as I develop, I watch them go other levels. And even the type of clientele that I attract now is very different because I'm different. So I love that. That's awesome. Awesome. And I'd be the same, I'm sure, for Margaret, because you're in the journey phase. Like, it's going to be really exciting to watch the next phase for you and the next phase of people that start to work with you. Really exciting.
So, Jenni, I'm going to ask you, what's your biggest fear?
I don't have many anymore.
Okay.
Because I have done courses that have taken me so out of my comfort zone, particularly the Tantra world, because they are big into looking at your shadow.
Yes.
So
just explain your shadow, so if there's people out there listening that...
So it's a little bit like today, because I try to use what we're doing as an example. Margaret has shown you a little side of her that she's taken off a mask today. And for even me, Margaret, it's beautiful to really meet this side of you. I only know you on Facebook, but you always look like you've totally got it together and life's great, and here you are in these fabulous locations doing your work. But the truth is, that was hard for me because I thought, no, I really want to see what's behind that mask. I want that juicy, real woman. So that's really our shadows. And the truth is, you don't know pain if you haven't had joy or pleasure, and you don't know pleasure if you haven't had pain.
Yes.
So it's like, the more we can take the masks off and learning that each shadow actually has a benefit. A lot of women, because I work predominantly with women and communities, so I see what goes on when you put a lot of women together and networking, and jealousy is a shadow. But if you use jealousy as a benefit, it's awesome. Because the benefit is, I go, you know what, I don't like what she's having. I wonder what I would need to do. Maybe I'll find out what I would need to study, what I would need to learn. It'll always be my flavour, because no one has my DNA and I don't have theirs.
That's true.
So for me, shadows are my best friend. And a lot of my shadows have been fear. So when you ask me what fear is, I've stood in a room in front of 23 people.
Naked.
And unravelled myself, slowly saying why I wore each piece of clothing. This is to cover my stomach. I wear long pendants because it makes my body look longer and I don't like it. I don't turn on the side because I don't like my family knows, right? Till I was in nothing. And then I had to share what my gifts were to 23 men and women.
Now, how was that?
Fearful. I had so much energy running in my body, and inside I was like going, run, run, right? But as I was guided to breathe into my belly instead of the old stressful up the top chest breathing, and once I did, what came out of my mouth came from my gut. It didn't come from my brain, and it didn't actually come from my heart. It came from my truth, my essence. And I followed that essence ever since, because we were encouraged after each person had to get up and do it to actually write down what we said. And really, that's what I'm doing now. And I'm making fear my friend anywhere I can. and that won't stop until I die.
And fear can be a friend. You know, you just feel that fear, and you can still work through it. And it's getting that courage to say, I can do this. Yeah. And I was reading something a little while ago, and there's a word that should never be spoken, and it is can't. Yeah. And I always used to say to my children, if they said they can't do something, I say there's no such thing as can't. It's I don't want to, or I'm not.
Yeah.
And
or I don't want to change because it's too scary.
Yeah. And you know what? They say that to me sometimes. If I say I can't, no such thing as can't.
It won't.
I don't want to. So, yeah.
But I'm not saying that I don't feel fear. I absolutely do, but I've learned how to self-regulate that feeling. Yes. I've learned rather than to contract and shut down, that just through really working with my breath, staying out of my head, which is really hard because the voices are going, to bring all of, you know, I talk in terms of energy, but to bring the mental energy back down into the body, but use it in a really productive way. Yes. And then I make sure that I make some kind of movement forward. Because if you don't, the body muscle, the memory muscle gets stuck in, oh yeah, I want that, I'll do that, but you actually don't know how to move forward. Yes. It's a bit like driving a car, you can't forget that.
Yes, that's true. Thank you for sharing. And
great question.
Thank you. Margaret, what would your greatest fear be?
A little like Jenni, there's really nothing stand out at the moment. Letting go, acknowledging fear. The two big things for me were public speaking and flying. So I believe that if I can get over both of those, and flying was palpable, petrified, sweaty hands, you know, barely able to breathe, but still I kept flying. Yes. So just keep putting myself out there, showing that resilience, I guess. And now, it's almost as though I can do whatever I choose. There's some things I'm choosing not to do. Jump out of a plane or, you know, of a bungee jumping. No thanks. There's some things I'm just saying, well, no, they're not on my bucket list. I don't choose to do. I'm not scared of doing them. I'm just choosing, no, they're not my thing. But most other things now I'm willing to step up and give a go, or else I say, no, that's not for me. I guess the big thing is learning to say no about some of the fears.
Well, there's courage in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not like I'm fearful of it. I'm just saying, no, that's my choice. I don't have any desire to do that. Yeah. So it's just a plain no and move on to something else. So it's just dealing with different things. I think we can all get over something if we choose to. Yeah,
and feeling that comfortable. Yeah. Saying no and feeling comfortable about it, and not feeling that guilt that we normally feel when we say no. Because there usually is a guilt around us saying no, because as women and as mothers, we usually say yes to most things, but learning to say no is very empowering.
Even when we're not mothers, there's plenty of women that are not mothers, and they've still got that pleasing aspect. It's innate in us because we are nurturers. Yes. But isn't there power in no?
Yes.
Oh, it feels good saying it sometimes.
Yeah, and you know, I think I've just learnt to say no to different things, and just say no, and then I think, oh, that was all right.
I have an exercise, which I don't know if you've done it in the workshops, Faye, but we actually have to walk around the room and walk up to each other and go, no. No.
Yes, I have done that.
No. Right? And what it evokes in your body, you know, when you first start doing it, some women really contract and feel really uncomfortable, and they can hardly get the no out. But as you start to practice saying no more, it can actually feel really good.
Yeah, and I think it's something that gives you, it empowers you to say, okay, I'm taking control. I'm taking control of who I am.
Gives you agency.
Yeah, and what I want and what I don't want anymore. Because we spend our lives saying yes to everybody and not really wanting to do it. Why? We could ask why forever. But we have to go to more sponsorship. We'll be back. It keeps coming around.
We need a neck massager in here, Faye.
Neck massager.
Yeah.